guys, HuShang here. Welcome to another Starcraft 2 lesson. In today's video, I have a Terran versus Zerg against Days. And in this video, we're going to be focusing on sort of, pushing your own boundaries and adding in some stuff to your play that maybe you don't normally do. And then also, we're going to have a theme of constricting the Zerg. So we're playing this fairly late game. But we're not really trying to have too many main fights. We're just trying to deny Zerg's bases. So I'll show you how you can do this to win your games. And I think this is a pretty strong way to play this matchup. It kind of forces a lot of the micro onto the Zerg, or a lot of the multitasking onto the Zerg, and you can kind of control the pace of the game. So here I am opening up with a fairly standard 6 Hellion and 1 Liberator push, and we're just going to be kind of trying to get some damage in here with the Liberator, distracting with the Hellions, some normal stuff. Before we get too into this replay, if you guys hate this channel and you want to make sure this video gets downvoted into oblivion, make sure to smash that downvote button. And also, if you guys are interested in coaching, make sure to check out my website and also join us on Discord. But okay, so we've kind of poked him here a little bit. He's definitely distracted by these Hellions. If I went to his vision, you'd see he's really focused here. But in the background, we're getting quite a few drone kills, 8 already. So pretty successful early game for us. And then behind this, we're adding on our 3 racks, and we're getting our double eBay going. So pretty normal stuff here. Now, my idea of this game, like I said, the focus is going to be, me pushing my boundaries this game, and how you guys can do that as well. And so my idea here is to not do a push at all. Usually I do some sort of like 3 tank push. I try to put a lot of pressure on Zerg early. But my idea of this game was to take a more defensive approach, kind of just set up my production, get up to 5 racks, get the 1-1 going, and then just set up my siege tanks here so that I don't need to worry too much about run bys and stuff, and just do some more drop type play. Now, I don't think this is like the most effective way to play, but I think it's the easier way to learn Terran, and I think it's much stronger before you have insane multitask. So yeah, so we got up our 5 racks. We have our first couple of medevacs coming out. We have just a very defensive position. It's kind of hard for Zerg to really do anything here. And I'm trying to develop my map control. So we have a Reaper over here. We have some Hellions on this side, just trying to see where the Zerg expands to so we can start putting on some pressure. And then back at home, just getting up our second factory, getting our mine tech soon. Actually, I'm a little bit distracted by doing this. Normally, whenever I push, I add on my armory, so I haven't added that this game because my my trigger for doing that is the push. So we forgot that this game, but I mean that's part of the point of pushing the boundaries. And yeah, so here we're grabbing our 4cc, so nothing's really happened this game yet. We've just kind of developed, and now we're gonna start putting on some pressure now that we have some medevacs and we can, poke here and there without risking too much. So at this portion of the game, your main goal should just be to, at least with this style, should be to just trade and deny bases as much as possible. So Zerg doesn't really have, a lot of money right now, so they kind of have to decide. Like you can see here, Zerg is deciding to go for Mutalisk, so they don't have too many Banelings to defend this base. So we can pick this off. And I did see this Mutalisk, but even if I didn't see this Mutalisk, this is a big, like, him not defending this base is a big, how do you say it, like a big reason you can assume they're going for Mutalisk. So just the fact that he's not defending is pretty suspicious. So you could add on some turrets here. I've actually added on some turrets already, just by seeing that he's not defending. So we're able to snipe this base, which is awesome. We also see that he has this base at the bottom left. And I'm a little bit focused over here trying to like work on my hotkeys and stuff. So we're grabbing these 3 racks a little fast, I think. I think we can definitely slow these down and just stay on 5 racks 2 factory for a bit longer. But yeah, I mean, focusing more on having this drop play for this game, I think, is a good way to push your boundaries and you know, add on some more skills that you're good at. So again, lots of mistakes back here, but the main focus is really pushing on both sides, clearing creep, getting a lot of active drops going rather than, you know, perfect macro. So we cleared some creep over here, and now we want to start pushing on the other side. So I'm rotating from this side where we killed the base over to the left, and then I'm also going to start setting up more drops over on this side as well once we secure this base. So the idea is to kind of ignore the center and just push on the sides, where Zerg has a little bit of a harder time seeing where your army is, and then just denying their bases.
Add-on operational.
So we come in over here, and of course Zerg is going to see us. We go to the all vision cam. So he's rotating his whole army over here, which means you know, a lot of his focus is on this side rather than on the top right. We get a pretty nice bailing hit, or mine hit there, which is awesome. And then instead of pushing over here, which we could do if we wanted to push really hard on one side, which is normally what I do. But instead, what we're going to do is set up this other attack over on the top right and see if we can just deny this base again. Now, he didn't actually take it, but normally the Zerg will retake this right away and try to get their 5 hatcheries up. So we're setting up a little squad over here. You can also see that this is kind of limiting where his mutas can go. So because we're attacking all over the place, he hasn't really counterattacked with his mutas, which is a good thing and a bad thing. It made me forget to build turrets over here. So I definitely should have made some turrets, but in this case he's not actually pushing us because we're attacking so much. So now we're just setting up some nice minefields. You can see that this army is just sitting here. There's nothing we want to do with that just yet. But as we set up this army and it becomes easier to not watch it, we are going to focus more on the other side. So let me just slow this down. So here we just have a huge minefield, and this is actually probably where he loses the game, because this was a pretty terrible trade for him. And as soon as he does this, we immediately go back to microing this side and we set up another group on the other side. So I'm always trying to have 2 groups setting up at least, but I'm not actually microing, you know, both at the same time. It's just one or the other one. So we sneak in here because he's out of position. We're able to snipe this base, and this is one of the drawbacks of trying to do too many things at once. But this is just you know, maybe I need to focus here a little bit more. You'll see in a second. I just move command this away, and he has some nice micro here. He surrounds my Marines, and they actually the mine self-detonates on the Marines, which was unfortunate. I was confident that like if I move these away, the mine would hit the Banes if they were chasing me. So so it didn't work out exactly as planned. It's pretty rough, but yeah, not a huge deal. We can focus back over here. In the meantime, of course, I'm always just spamming through my cycle. Actually, these are not rallied, hey? But just going through the cycle, making mines, making Marines, making medevacs. Your comfort zone might also just be, you know, focusing on the macro. Like maybe you're being too aggressive, to be honest. This might be your comfort zone is doing all these attacks all over the place, but because of that, you never really develop your macro skills. So if your comfort zone is attacking all the time, then maybe you want to play a style where you can just sit back and really focus on refining your macro instead. But for me, it's more getting these drops all over the place. Now again, we pull him out of position with that other fight, so we're able to get in here. I think I over micro this a little bit. We could have just left these Marines to do whatever, and they would have killed just as many drones probably. And of course, as this is going on, we want to set something else up. So you can see we're going to move these Marines over in a little bit. Now he's starting to lose a lot of money, so from this position, I'm thinking he's in a lot of trouble. So I believe I'm going to push over on this side as well and try to protect these mines, try to keep up the pressure over here. But we easily could have went to this side as well on the left. So he starts doing a little bit of counterattacking, and this is mostly because we let up the pressure a little bit. So now he's feeling like he can attack. So probably I should have kept attacking at that position and not really gave him any breathing room, because this does make the game a little bit hectic in a second, as you will see. And yeah, what are we focused on here? We're setting up some depots, and so my reaction over here is quite late to these mutas, and they actually sniped the turrets, unfortunately. So we could have repaired these in time, but we weren't paying attention. Now in this position, I think a lot of people will crumble. I've seen a lot of students with games like this, and then you know, things fall apart really fast. So there's kind of two ways that you can deal with this when things are getting really insanely hectic, and there's a ton of mutas in your base. Obviously, we have enough units to defend this, but so what you need to do is just split your army into two groups. So you can do this with like a box and then the alt command. And then you can either send half the group here and half the group here, and then just set up your defenses again, which is probably the more solid way to do it. Or what you can do is what I do in a second, which is send this half to the mutas, but then counterattack, which is maybe a bit more, it's definitely not the solid option. It's definitely the more hectic option, but if you're confident you have the better multitask, then this can be a nice way to, you know, to really put on pressure against the Zerg. Force him to make some tough decisions. So, yeah, so we're counterattacking here, and he knows we're counterattacking, so he's probably going to feel this pressure in a second to pull back with his mutas, right? Because he wants to relieve the pressure over here. So by putting on pressure like this, you can usually force the muta back. Decent fight there. And so by doing that, we gave us some time to maybe get up some defenses, which I apparently did not use over here. Actually, I don't even realize I don't have turrets over here. This base hasn't been attacked yet. So he comes over here, counterattacks again. This obviously should have been an easy defense, but it's a little bit more tricky now. I still have all these mines over here, so you should feel fairly comfortable leaving this army just standing here as long as you can pay attention on the minimap. And if you're not good at paying attention on the minimap, you can just maybe make like 4 boxes here and just hold position them, and that'll be pretty decent as well. So we start getting up some turrets. Again, I'm clearing creep over here. And we're getting a bit more centralized at this part of the game, which we probably shouldn't be, to be honest. So probably around this period, we should really be doing more attacks on the sides again. But we have cleared the creep quite well over here, so it's not terrible or anything. And I just let this base die. We have turrets over here. This base is not really mining, so we can just focus pretty fully on the push here, which is nice. And I wanted to point out a technique right here. If the banelings do get really close to your army, like they are in this situation, what you want to do is not split like a maniac, but just let this last group of Marines die. They don't have families. These guys have families, but these guys don't. So you just let them die. And what that'll do is buy some space for your Marines over here, and then you can just aim it. And you can see that's fine to deal with the banelings. And much easier than splitting like Mario. Okay, so now that we've cleared all this creep, we're just going to be pushing through here. I'm focusing a lot on splitting these mines. I don't know if this is actually a good use of time yet, to be honest. You might want to just leave them grouped up if you can't manage all the multitask. But the nice thing about this is you can just kind of run away, let all the mines go off, and trade super well. nice overseer bait by him. Won him that fight, but we did knock out his base, and we've resecured our economy. So I think we're in a pretty good position, even though the workers are pretty even and the supply is pretty even. And the nice thing about, you know, having all these mines like this is it's really on Zerg to deal with this. So if you leave mines all over the place, it's not really a problem for you, and it's way more obnoxious for Zerg. Playing both sides of the matchup, trust me, it's way more obnoxious for Zerg to deal with this. So we need this new base for sure. Our economy is pretty bad, to be honest, so we really need to secure this base. So I'm just focusing over here for a bit, but once we get this secure and we have some mines in place, we can start pushing to try and end the game. I'm just noticing we have a ton of SCVs over here. We probably should have transferred. Now again, he's going for a counterattack, but we have this group of bio over here, so he's not going to be able to stay here for too long. We also have a lot of turrets, so there's not as much he can do with these mutas anymore. And he tries to go for the turrets, but there's a lot there, so it's no big deal. Now I left I left this group of Marines here because I thought we had more mines. I thought we had like 3 or 4 mines here, so I wanted to kind of bait him. Like, I know he can see me here, so I kind of wanted to bait him into this position. But it turns out I just have 1 mine, and it's kind of at a position, so that it doesn't go too well in a second. So yeah, so here he is. He's reacting to this. I mean, the mine gets some Marines, but now I'm reacting, and we don't have any more mines, so this doesn't go super great. Not too bad, but I was trying to lay a trap, so not as good as it should have been. And now he's really struggling. I'll probably make a video on how Zerg can spread their creep better, like having some queen hotkeys and stuff, because this guy's, you know, really struggling with the multitask and the creep spread. And there is an easy way to do that as well. But here we get a nice position with all of our mines. And yeah, so we're splitting a little bit here. I just want to trade a lot, because if we can just trade out for the Banelings here, over on this side we can get quite a bit of damage. So this wasn't really the main focus, but we did trade out pretty decently. And then over here we got the base. So from this point we basically won. We just need to kind of consolidate and go for a bigger push. So you can see me kind of moving towards the center here. Really nice mine hit there. And from this position, he's kind of starved. We've basically destroyed his whole economy with these attacks on the sides. And so he's just not able to keep up with our unit production. And yeah, we spread a little bit, so it's a little bit harder for him to engage us, and he just forced the tap out here. He doesn't really have too much left. So yeah, interesting game. I think attacking Zerg from the sides is just really difficult for them. So if this is maybe something you're not adding to your play, try it out, see how it goes, go outside your comfort zone. Or if this is something you're doing quite a lot already, then try pulling it back. Try not doing any of this. Try just trying to work on your macro, working up 5 racks, 8 racks slowly, keeping your productions consistent, and yeah, and see how that goes. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. If you watched to the end, leave a like and a comment, and I will see you in the next one.